Hey you, how you doing? In this tutorial I want to show you something that we had in our application. Now every time I type in something in this box, I want it to appear in the same format in my browser. This is similar to something we had when we worked on our application or when we saw the application. That's array. So every time I type in something into this box like cat and then want to replace the word cat and then I want to replace it with something called rat. So every time I click the find and replace application, the text gets printed out on the screen in the same page. So this is something I'll be showing you guys in this particular tutorial. So the first thing I'm going to do is to go back to my editor. Now as you can see, I have created a file called printout.php. Now notice that it's not .html but .php. So I can work my HTML within my PHP file and it will still work. So the first thing I'm going to do within the page is to type in my PHP tags. So I'm going to close it. So after my PHP tag, then I can create my HTML. So I'm not really doing the HTML, the body, the title. I'm just going straight to my HTML tag. Yeah, it works that way. So I'm going to give it the action. And the action I want to give it, be aware, the action I want to give it is print out the PHP. So I'm redirecting it back to the same, I'm directing it back to the same page, which is printout.php. That's where I am currently, PHP. So the method should be pushed. Method should be pushed. Close. So the next thing I want to create is an input box. So input type. Your input type should be text. Should be text, not name. I remember a particular tutorial I used the name. I really messed it up. I'm thinking of changing that particular video, but the input type should be text and not name. And the next thing, yeah, that should be quotes. Then I'm giving it a name. If you're not conversant with this kind of format and the function of this name, just check out my previous tutorials on my PHP. So the next thing is name, and I want the name to be name. Okay, so close it. Yeah, I'll close everything. So next thing I want to do is to give my button. So I'm going to call input type. Ensure your input type is submit and not button. Submit. And I'm going to give it a value called submit, or I can give it a value called button or click or something. Let's use click. So I'm going to close this and I'm going to close the tab. So the last thing to do is to close my form. Okay. So let's go back to our browser and refresh it. So this is printout.php. Printout.php. So exactly this is it. So if I click my name, nothing happens, but you can observe that it still remains in the same page. So I'll go back to my text editor. So within my PHP tags, so what I'm going to do is first to access the input text. So the first thing I'm going to do doing that is to create a variable. So I'm going to create a variable called name, and I'm going to make my $sign underscore post, then my square brackets, colon. So I'm going to access this name, which is name. So name. Semicolon. So I'm going to echo whatever is in the input box out on the screen. Whatsoever is in the input box should be echoed out on the screen. $sign, the variable name. So this is just I accessed this. You should be conversant with this because I made it in my previous tutorials. So I access the name, So I'm printing the name by this variable name. So when I go out on the screen to refresh this, you're going to see the result. Continue. So I'm going to type OK. So you see it gets printed out on the screen. Okay, do another one. And that gets also printed out on the screen. And that also gets printed out on the screen. So I think this is really a good way to start, and then you need to tune out on the next tutorial because I'm still going to make some justification to some other stuff we need to know. But in either case, this is all for today. Don't forget to click that like button and then subscribe, and you can also share the video. Thank you very much. See you in my next tutorial. Bye for now.